this record coming out during a pandemic and during such taxing times and such trying times for everybody, the fact that there has been such a positive response and our fans letting us know that, you know, the new music has helped them through some of these struggles and been an escape and been a way for them to, you know, feel some semblance of normalcy when life is so abnormal right now. I think that's the biggest takeaway for us, is just how, you know, it's come at the right time for a lot of people, and that's the best feedback you can possibly get.
We lucked out last year because we wrote a happy record, not knowing there's going to be a pandemic. You know, if you wrote a really sad, depressing record, and we're like, hey guys, I know it's been a crappy year, but cry a little more.
Hey, there's a place for that too, man. I've been diving into all the sad music lately, and it's like, yeah, this is
sure.
Good. This
needs to be a good balance, so we're on the happier side.
Everyone needs a good cry.
Exactly.
A good cry once in a while.
Last month marked 15 years since All Time Low dropped you guys' first album. You know, how has your connection with your fans evolved over the years, and how's your music evolved as well over the past 15 years?
Our fans can drink now.
True. I mean,
the bars at our shows are a lot busier.
So much happens in 15 years. You know, I think we've obviously changed so much as people. When we started doing this thing, we were just out of high school and we were, you know, barely had our driver's licenses and stuff. And so we were really growing up on tour and on the road. And that in and of itself is a crazy challenge to go through at that age. And, you know, 15 years into it, we're much different people. We've learned so much from being in this industry and just continuing to make music and evolve as a band together. I feel like now we're tighter than we've ever been personally for us, like, which is really cool. You know, when we got together last year to make this new album, I feel we rented a house and got together in the desert and lived together for like 2 months. And to be able to do that 15 years into a band's career and not want to tear each other's heads off every day, like, it was really inspiring. And I feel, you know, like we're all so much more connected because of it. And then with our fans, it's like stronger than it's ever been. I feel really grateful that over time, you know, people have really rallied behind us and this band and given us a really wide lane to work in, so that we don't get bored doing what we're doing. You know, they've given us the freedom to be really creative and to try different things as a band and different sounds and between records. And that's been really cool too.
Not many bands get to release 8 records and have fans follow you along that whole journey and, you know, and be there with you through the ups and downs. So it's kind of been a journey.
What is the key to evolving your sound while staying true to what it is that made those 15-year fans love you in the first place, right? Like, you guys, when I listen to Wake Up Sunshine, I hear new energy, but I also hear nodes of things that make us love All Time Low from all of these years. You know, how do you guys strike that balance?
That's the biggest challenge. Having been for as long as we have, I think that's the toughest road. And it's like, on one hand, we have to stay true to ourselves creatively and do things that keep us feeling inspired, like, so that we're not just, you know, banging our heads against the wall at the end of the day when we go into the studio. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, there's an expectation, and there are fans that have been with us, like Jack said, from 15 years ago that kind of understand and feel like they own a piece of this band. So we want to always make them happy and proud as well whenever we put out something new. And so it's kind of just finding that lane right in the middle of doing something that feels like it's been inspired by the energy that All Time Low has always carried, but adding in the things we've learned along the way to continue to re-engage and find new creative outlets.
I think it's also important to not chase a certain sound too much. That, like, you know, we've made the mistake on a song or two in previous records where we're like, well, this is really popular right now in radio or on TV or anything, so let's like chase that sound, and then it just kind of comes out feeling uninspired. Whereas, especially with Wake Up Sunshine, like, you had the 4 of us in a house together and we were all just constantly being like, oh yeah, that's the right sound, over and over again. And so no matter what genre it comes out as or what the energy is, if we're all behind it and we're all like just pushing it forward, then it's going to feel like All Time Low.
For sure.
Checks and balances, baby. Checks and balances.
And that's a good point, because I mean, you were nominated in the rock category in 2016. This year was a nomination for Best Alternative. What does genre even mean these days when you go in and produce a record? Are you even thinking about what genre this might fit into, or do you just create and see what happens?
Honestly, at this point, I think we've stopped thinking about that. We kind of, as long as the music's making us feel inspired and making us happy, and we're going to be proud to go out on stage and play it every night, that's kind of the only thing that matters to us at this point. Whether it fits in this genre or that genre is kind of up for interpretation, and it's really up to the fans to decide where it belongs for them. But yeah, I mean, it's,
they definitely they argue about it more than anything. It's like,
I do, yeah.
We're like, all right, we never said anything.
What has the reception been like for Wake Up Sunshine so far?
When we put out the record, you know, we had a discussion of like, do we push it? Do we keep it for a little bit? And we decided, like Alex said, like, no, people want some normalcy right now. They want some certainty. And that was kind of our driving force. But then as we put it out and saw their reaction, it kind of gave so much positivity to us. You know, we're going through it in our own ways, as everyone is, but to see this reaction from the fan base and from media publications and, you know, like you guys and stuff like this, it's kind of like, oh wait, we needed this too, and it is really helpful.
Absolutely, and the video was so necessary, man. Walk us through the vision behind the video for the lead single, Some Kind of Disaster. Such a powerful visual, bro.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, that video, it's all about taking a hard look inside yourself and, you know, sort of all the aspects of yourself that maybe you're not as proud of or don't want to share on a day-to-day basis with the outside world. It's like essentially putting that into a literal take on if you could sit down with every aspect of yourself that you weren't as happy with and kind of talk to those aspects of yourself and find the goodness in that. You know, what would that be like? And sort of this video was a representation of that. And for me personally, it was like, you know, I've had to do that. I've had to take a look at myself and who I am and, you know, reconcile with the parts of me that I'm not as proud of or that I struggle with, or that gives me anxiety or that I fear or any of those things. And I think it's good every now and then to sort of take a long, hard look inward and sort of come to terms with all those different things. And I think it makes you stronger and it lets you come out the other side a more realized and whole person.
How would you classify your music today? Like, if you had to say, this is the all-time low sound in 2020, how would you describe that?
Man,
What a question.
Oof.
rock and roll, baby. I don't know.
I can roll, man. I want to get Zach in on this one, man. He's been pensive this whole time. What you think?
Yeah, Zach, what do you think? What would you call it, Zach?
I'm such a look at me. I'm straight rock and roll, man. That's just that's
Let's
how I
go.
roll.
Let's
Like,
go.
straightforward. Let's go. That's kind of my mentality.
Yep.
So we're not
Rock and roll.
going with country western anymore. I thought.
Guy moves to Nashville. We lost him. We lost him to country
Yeah,
music.
The next album.